Hey man, back off, back off. Hi, this is Greg with Lionquestfitness, and this is an old Interarms Rossi. This is before Taurus purchased Rossi, and this is a 38 special. And what we were doing, we were shooting close quarters at a distance of 3 to 4 yards. This is the first 2 shots, and obviously second 2 shots. Now, this is a technique for deadly force. Somebody is trying to commit a deadly attack. Now, the block-strike combination, it's an upward block as if you're blocking some type of bludgeon, bottle, somebody with their fist. You're blocking up, and then you're striking up under the nose, under the chin, then getting back. But we're assuming persistence. So the 2 shots from the low quarters, and then 2 more shots to this area right here. So we're going to be talking some about the Rossi revolvers, and obviously they're adequate for close quarters. Let's see how they do at 10 yards. Well, I threw one off, but otherwise that's very adequate for a snub-nosed revolver at 10 yards. All right, we're going to be talking about the Interarms Rossi. Now, these were the original Rossis. A lot of men my age remember these fondly because it might have been the first gun they bought. They were affordable, and the quality is actually very good. Now, if you look at this gun, on first glance, you'd probably say Smith & Wesson. And the Taurus revolvers were built a lot like this back in the 80s, 70s. And, they were decent revolvers. Now, you're not going to handle some really hot ammo with them. They weren't strong revolvers, but they were good revolvers. Now, this one has that stiff Rossi action, but it's not that stiff. And over time, it smooths out. And of course, the single action, very crisp. Now, these old Rossis were imported by Interarms until 1997, according to Wikipedia. And soon after, they were bought out by Taurus. Now, I've owned one of the Taurus Rossis, one of the ones that were under the recall from 2017, 2018. And they weren't the very beautiful gun. It was one of their 357 snubs, but it wasn't a very good gun. It really wasn't adequate for handling 357. One of the cylinders need to be bored out more, and the Rossis under Taurus have a very, very stiff trigger. It's like stiff, 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 more stiff, and then break. All right, but the older Rossis have more of Smith & Wesson style trigger, maybe. And then the new Rossis, and I had a really bad experience with the new Rossi, the RP63, I think it was, a 3-inch 357. I had to send it back, cylinder locked up. Dealing with Taurus/Rossi really put a bad taste in my mouth. And, they sent me a replacement gun, but I sold it, for various reasons. One is I did not like that wide. They have a very wide trigger. I do not like that. I still, Rossi has this very narrow sight, and this is something that they've kept, the feature they kept. I really don't like that. There's with a sight that's milled like this, and a long sight at that, it's very easy to have the gun not quite on target. And as far as the how the sight aligns on the target, I guess I'm not explaining myself very well. But for example, with this gun, I have to aim the gun slightly off to hit dead center, okay? Because it's not quite aligned with the trench. And that's the problem with these long sights like that. It's very easy not to get the correct alignment with the front sight and the back trench. So how does the Rossi compare to, say, like an old Chief Special? Well, not much of a comparison. You know, the old Chiefs are excellent guns and of a quality that Smith & Wesson no longer produces. In fact, I can do things with this gun as far as accuracy that many people with their polymer, I mean many people, not all people, with their polymer wonders would have trouble in duplicating as far as distance and accuracy. Now, one thing I do like about the Rossi, it does have like a 2.2 inch barrel as opposed to the Smith's 1.78 inch barrel. Now, as far as a modern Taurus, and this gun's about 5 or 6 years old, it is the 856. It has been a good 856. And in terms of function, this gun and accuracy, this gun's very accurate, even at 25, 30 yards. This is going to beat the Rossi hands down. All right. But in terms of aesthetics, hey, this is a mug gun. You know, hey, this is an ugly gun. You see this ugly gun, get away from me. All right. Now, as far as accuracy, the Rossi's good for, I'd say, 10 yards for most people, maybe 15 if you're proficient. All right. So, would I carry this gun? Well, absolutely. For certain things where I need a low-profile gun, and especially one that's not particularly worth a whole lot of money, like old Rossi here, you know, this would be a good gun to carry if you're traveling, you know. Now, as far as ammunition, I'd probably stick with standard 38. But once again, this is a gun for specific close quarter self-defense. And this is Greg with Lionquest Fitness.